Welcome back, brethren. I hope you had a good lunch. I just had a little snack. I didn't really have my lunch yet, but I had a little snack and a little rest because it is Shabbat. And I rested a little bit. And now we have some more deep stuff to get into in Daniel chapter 2, the statue, the four powers. Now, on the thumbnail, I put a statue of the Statue of Liberty, as you can see. That is a statue for Babylon. Modern Babylon. Statue of modern Babylon. Okay, you can see that. But we're going to talk about the statue that Nebuchadnezzar, ancient Babylon, dreamed about and what it means for us today. Remember, in Daniel chapter 2, Daniel pointed out that what Nebuchadnezzar saw was for the latter days, and that what he saw was for those who were going to be living in the latter days, which is you and me. In Daniel chapter 2, verse 28, but there is a God in heaven, Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar, that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. So Nebuchadnezzar was thinking about what is the future. A lot of people think about that. Some people go to astrologers, tarot card readers, palm readers, and what are they looking for? What is the future? Specifically, what is my future? Correct? So people are going to these people and they're trying to find out what their future is. Thing is, about the Most High, he will give dreams and he will give prophecies about the future. What he does, though, is he gives prophecies about the future of his people. Prophecies about the future of his people. So when he's giving us dreams and stuff, he's showing us what should happen in our future. And all the prophecies of the Bible have to do with the future of his people. Okay? That's what it's about. What is our future? We can see, in fact, what we are awakening to right now, as we're being awakened, is what is our past and how did we get to our present? Isn't that correct? Aren't we awakening to that? Because we didn't even know our name. Therefore, we couldn't know what our past is. Nor how did we get to this strange lands with strange names that aren't ours? How did we get here? That's the awakening to who we are and why we are here. Once we get to that point and we understand clearly who we are, why we're here, now the Father can start to awaken us about prophecies, which is about our future. When you get a dream from the Most High, he is trying to show you the future. He's trying to show you your future. And as you as being one peg of a nation, he's showing you your nation's future. He's showing you your future. Whenever I get dreams from the Most High, or my wife gets dreams and we talk about, or my daughter gets dreams and we talk about the dreams, he is showing us something that's coming all the time. Okay? That's what he's trying to do. Show you what's coming. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, he's showing you what's coming. Okay? That's all he's doing. Everybody looks for good. Like if you're lonely, you're looking for a dream about your new spouse. That's you. What we really are concerned with is how the Father is leading us down the path of our life. Not what we want. There's a difference. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. His dream was garbage. It's not going to come to pass, ever, according to the Bible. But that's what he said his dream was. That's what he said his dream. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about our future. It included his future too. He didn't like what he was told about his future. And Daniel 3 shows us that. He didn't like what he was told about his future. But it was the future path of the will of the Father. Y'all catch that? It was the path of the will of the Father. When he shows you and us dreams, he is showing us the path that the Father has chosen for us for our future. And then as a nation, our future. How? And then according to prophecies, we have plenty that shows us the future of Israel. Nebuchadnezzar's future dream also showed the future of Israel. He just didn't know it. So when you get a dream, always understand that the Father is showing you the path that he is leading you in the future, or a path you're headed to in the future. I know for myself, whenever I am going a path or forming a connection that the Father is not pleased with, he will show me a dream of marrying someone that's not my wife, or marrying a bruja. He will show me that. A bruja means a witch. He will show me marrying a bruja, because that's telling him I'm forming a connection with something he doesn't want me to form a connection with. That's how he talks to me. He doesn't talk everybody the same, but I know from all of the many, many, many dreams he's shown me, when he's trying to tell me you're getting ready to connect, or he'll have me having sex with a whore in my dream. And I'll know, there's a connection that I'm getting ready to form that he does not want me to connect with. That's how he shows me. Then, of course, he'll show us things, like I just said, something coming in the future, sometimes far future, sometimes near future. But he's telling me something along the path that he's chosen for me. He'll do the same with you. Now, he may show you differently than he shows me, but he shows us a path of our future. Not what we want, but what he sees coming or what he's chosen for us. Okay? Okay. So now, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Daniel chapter 2, verse 29. Daniel chapter 2, verse 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter? And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. So remember, he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, now this is what you were thinking about before you went to sleep. Your thoughts on your head was, what should come to pass hereafter? Nebuchadnezzar was wondering, what does the future hold? That's what he was wondering. What is coming in the future? What does the future hold? The Bible says in Ezekiel that when he was coming to attack Jerusalem, he looked in the liver. A very interesting term that the Bible used there when it said he looked in the liver. That's Ezekiel chapter 21. Ezekiel chapter 21 from verse 18 to verse 23. Ezekiel 21 from 18 to 23. Watch this terminology. Okay. The word of Yahweh came unto me again, saying, Thou son of man, appoint thee 2 ways, that the sword of the king of Babylon may come. Both twain shall come forth out of one land. And choose thou a place. Choose it at the head of the way of the way to the city. Appoint a way that the sword may come to Rabbah of the Ammonites, and to Judah in Jerusalem the defense. For the king of Babylon stood at the parting of the way, at the head of the 2 ways, to use divination. He made his arrows bright. He consulted with images. He looked in the liver. At the right hand was the divination for Jerusalem, to appoint captains, to open the mouth in the slaughter, to lift up the voice with shouting, to appoint battering rams against the gates, and to cast a mount, and to build a fort. And it shall be unto them as a false divination in their sight, to them that have sworn oaths. But he will call to remembrance the iniquity, that they will be taken. When he says he looked in the liver, you can tell a person's health. It is known now. Of course, Ezekiel was told it thousands of years ago. You can tell the future of a person's health by the health of their liver. The liver really is used to cleanse. I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to be one, but the liver is used to cleanse impurities from your blood. That's what it's used to do. When your liver is in bad shape, poisons and impurities that would normally be cleansed go through your bloodstream and mess up the rest of your body. So the liver, the health of the liver can tell the health future of the person. So in terms of prophecy, the Bible says Nebuchadnezzar looked in the liver to try to tell the future because he was very interested in the future. What does the future hold? And that's what he was thinking about when he received this dream. Daniel said you were on your bed and you were thinking about what should come to pass hereafter. What does the future hold? This is the difference between Yah's chosen ones and all the peoples of planet Earth. Remember what Moses said. The only difference between us and everybody on planet Earth is that your presence goes with us. Brethren, as Israelite people of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we have been chosen before the foundation of the earth for the Most High to reveal to us the future. He reveals to us the future. We know, for example, from the word of the Most High's prophecy, that he's going to gather together all of dispersed and scattered Israel and bring us back to the kingdom that we lost. That is, brethren, that is the future. We know this. So now, what is our path, you and I, as individuals in that future? What role are we going to play? For example, at the end of Messiah's life, it was prophesied by David that one of his own brothers was going to turn on him. He that sat down and ate with me lifted up his heel against me. It was prophesied that he should pay the penalty of death. Thou hast made him an offering for sin, Isaiah says. So the thing is, at the time that it was being fulfilled, what role was everyone going to play? So he chose 12 apostles. One of them was Judas, the traitor. It was prophesied who should play that role. Messiah was the sacrifice for sin. It was prophesied that he should play that role. Again, you and I are in the final stretches of the history of Babylon. That's where we are. The age of Babylon is going to forever come to an end. It's already been decided and determined. The question is, what role will your path take in these final movements? You understand? So when he's showing you and I dreams, that's what he's showing us. The path we're headed down that leads to the last of Babylon and to the establishment of the kingdom. What path are you headed down? He will show you. Because as an Israelite, as a bloodline, it's ordained that you should know. If you want to know. See, this is different from the world. In the world, they're looking for dreams that fulfill their desire. You see what I'm saying? In the world, they go to tarot card readers and palm readers and crystal ball readers and necromancers and people that can call the dead and Ouija boards because they want to know if their desire is going to be fulfilled in the future. And the devil knows what their desire is, and he'll show them how he's setting up their future. Father already told us what the future holds. Well, at first we believe that. And then if we believe that, what is our role in that future? What path do we take? And he will show you in his word and in dreams. He will show you what path you're taking in that future. The question is for the Father's glory, that what you want? Do you want the Father's glory? Because then he'll show you. If you want your own glory, you hit lotto in the future. Egg McMahon, I heard brother say, Egg McMahon came to my house, I had a dream. He came to my house with a check. That was his desire. That wasn't the Father's desire. Another man, I had a dream. I retired by the time I was 30. That was his desire. That's not the Father's desire. See? So he will show you the path of the dreams of his plans and how you fit in his plans in the path that your life is going to take. Father will show you that. He gives you in his word, of course, as the part of the nation, and then he gives you individual as you are traveling this path. Yeah. So there's a difference between what you and I want versus what the Father's will is. Remember what he said? He said, your ways are not my ways, and your thoughts are not my thoughts. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways and your ways, and my thoughts from your thoughts. You understand? All right. Daniel chapter 2. So he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, you were thinking about the future. He's going to tell you, the Father getting ready to tell you the future. Verse 30. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. So he's telling the king, Father's going to show you everything you dreamed, everything you thought. And it's for the people of the future, because you were concerned with what should come to pass in the future. Okay, he's going to tell you what's going to come to pass in the future. And it's for their sakes he's showing you this. Okay. Verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. Terrible meaning impressive, like strong, like dazzling, like, awesome. So he said, you saw an image in your dream. Now, you have like an epiphany, and you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I saw. You saw an image, and it was awesome. It was a giant image, and you saw it. It's a great image, and it was bright. Verse 32. This image's head was of fine gold, his breasts and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. So he had different metals and materials of the earth on this image. The top part where the head was gold. Arms and breasts were silver. Belly and thighs were brass. And then the legs were iron, and the feet was part iron and part clay. Wasn't even a metal. Part iron and part clay. Okay, so he has this image. He's seeing it. Now, Nebuchadnezzar, you got to imagine. He's like, wow, that's it. That's exactly what I saw. He's tripping now because Daniel's telling him what he thought before he went to sleep, telling him about the image. Okay. Verse 34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. So there's a stone cut out without hands. Human hands were not involved with cutting the stone out. But the stone that was cut out without hands smote the image. Now we know Messiah is the rock, and we know that Messiah comes from the Father. They drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, the Bible tells us, and that rock was Messiah. Messiah said, I do nothing of my own, but I came forth and proceeded from my Father. Father is the mountain upon which the rock cut out without hands came. Father is the mountain that started it. And out of him, from him, without hands, came Messiah. Okay. And this rock struck the image. It hit the image and break it in pieces. Break it in pieces. So the rock hit the image that Nebuchadnezzar saw, the bright image, and made it into pieces, destroyed it. Okay? Let's read from verse 34 and go to verse 35. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So if you have an image, a statue, and it's standing upright, it's standing on its feet, on its base. And if the base is destroyed, the whole thing collapses. So that's what it said. It said, this stone hit it in his feet. Remember, the feet were iron and clay. So it was kind of, can you imagine this? Iron and clay. So it's kind of not stable anyway, right? It's iron and clay. It's not stable anyway, right? But the stone came and hit it in the feet and destroyed it, and it became like chaff. That is, like dust. And it blew away in the wind, and there was no place found for it. So let's look at this again now. You got a statue, a stone that's not cut with human hands. It's cut outside of human hands. It comes from a mountain. It strikes this image in his feet. The image turns to chaff. It turns to dust. It's destroyed, and it's blown away. And the stone that cut it, that hit it in his feet, grows into a giant mountain that fills the entire planet Earth. The stone that hit it in his feet turns into a giant mountain that fills the whole planet Earth. Okay, now Daniel's going to tell the king, now that he told him what he dreamt, now that he told him what he was thinking about before he fell asleep, now he's going to give him the interpretation of the dream. Daniel chapter 2, verse 36. I want you to notice verse 36. We mentioned it earlier. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof to the king. Notice he said, we. That kills me. He said, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof to the king. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of Yah, and of all the things which he saw. This is the dream, and we will tell the king the interpretation thereof. We. That is Father, Messiah, the angel, the prophet. We. Okay? We. You following me so far? Don't try to go ahead of me because you're going to mess yourself up. Don't do it. Stay with me. We. Okay. A lot of people start jumping ahead, interpreting on their own, not even having read the whole Bible, and you're going to mess yourself up. Don't do it. Wait. Okay. So now, let's see the interpretation. Verse 37. Thou, that is Nebuchadnezzar, O king, art a king of kings. For the Most High of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven, he hath given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? So he's telling Nebuchadnezzar, you, king of Babylon, you, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, Father has given you a kingdom. Everyone serves you. Everything serves you. You're the head of gold. Again, let's think about this. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. That's what the Bible tells us. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Which one of the 3 sons did Babylon come from? There's Shem, there's Ham, and there's Japheth. Which one of the 3 sons did Babylon come from? Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon came from which one? It came from Ham. That's right. It came from Ham. The Bible said the beginning, he said, and Cush, the Hamite, begot Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one of the earth. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel in Shinar. That's the same Babel that is Babylon, that is Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. So Nebuchadnezzar came from Ham. Are you following me so far? I want to make sure I don't miss you. It's a lot here. So Nebuchadnezzar's Babylonian kingdom was founded by the Hamites. Okay, here's a dumb question, but bear with me. We got a reason for it. From Shem, Ham, and Japheth, where does the chosen nation of the Hebrew Israelites come from? From Shem, Ham, or Japheth? Shem, that's right. Shem begot Arphaxad. Arphaxad begot Selah. Selah begot Eber, from where you get Hebrew. Eber's descendants became Abraham, from where you get Abraham, then Isaac, and then Jacob, who is Hebrew, and his name was changed to Israel, so that his nation is called the Hebrew Israelites. They come from Shem. All right. So far, this Babylonian head of gold was Hamite. Daniel is Hebrew Israelite. Daniel is Shemite. Y'all got me so far? Everybody got me so far? Okay. All right. Make sure we're all together here. All right. Now, verse 39. So we know that Nebuchadnezzar is Babylon. Verse 39. Daniel chapter 2, verse 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and a third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. Now, let us remember this important point that we brought up last time we studied this. That is the previous session. What do the 4 powers have in common? The 4 powers that we're getting ready to talk about, that Zechariah talked about, what do they have in common? They scattered Israel. That's exactly right. So when you want to know who these 4 empires are, what you must understand is who came to the land of Israel and scattered Yah's people. So we know Babylon did. Who came after Babylon and touched Yah's people? Daniel chapter 5. Daniel chapter 5. Daniel 5. Belshazzar is the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. That's who Belshazzar is or was. Belshazzar saw a writing on the wall. Remember that? Belshazzar saw a writing on the wall. He was the king of Babylon, Hamitic. Okay. 39. Let's read Daniel chapter 5. We're going to go through chapter 5 in detail later, but for the sake of what we're talking about here, the next kingdom after Nebuchadnezzar, who scattered Israel and Judah, we need to find out who that is. Bible tells us. Daniel chapter 5, verse 22 down to verse 31. Daniel chapter 5, from verse 22 down to verse 31. And thou, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thy heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the master of heaven. And they have brought the vessels of his house before thee. And thou and thy lords and thy wives and thy concubines have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. And the Most High, in whose hand thy breath is, in whose are all thy ways, thou hast not glorified. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, Taka, Uparsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, Yah hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Teka, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Parez, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain. And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. So now we know after Nebuchadnezzar came the Medes and the Persians. You want to know who the second kingdom is that scattered Israel and Judah? It was the kingdom of the Medes and the Persians. Now, Daniel also said there will be a third kingdom of brass. Who's that? Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8. Let's begin at verse 19 and read down to verse 21. Daniel chapter 8. Again, we're going to go into great detail in Daniel chapter 8, but for the sake of the four kingdoms we're looking for right now, we need to read this. Okay? Daniel chapter 8 from verse 19 to verse 21. And he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be the last end of the indignation. For at the time appointed, the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia that came after Babylon. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that's between his eyes is the first king. So you have Babylon, then you have the Medes and the Persians, and then the brass is the Greeks. So far, so good. We got that? Okay. So far, so good. So in these powers scattered Israel and Judah. Okay. Question. Are you ready for the question? Shem, Ham, Japheth. Where do the Medes, the Persians, and the Greeks come from? Shem, Ham, or Japheth? Do they come from? Japheth. Ah. So the power of gold that was Babylon is Ham. The power of the Medes and the Persians that came next is Japheth. The chosen people are Shem. Everybody got me so far? The chosen people come from Shem, and not all of Shem, Hebrew Israelite Shem. That's the chosen people. The people that scatter them start first with Babylon, the Hamite, and then you get Media, Persia, and Greece, Japheth. Okay, let's go back to Daniel 2. Let's go back to Daniel 2. So we got three kingdoms. There's a fourth kingdom. Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. So of gold, of silver, of brass, and of iron, the iron is the hardest of those metals. It is the hardest. It is also the least valuable. Gold is the most valuable of those. Then you have silver and then brass. So you can see the metals are becoming less valuable and harder. Are y'all noticing that? So it's becoming less valuable and harder. Okay. So now we know Babylon is the head of gold. Nebuchadnezzar is Babylon. Then came Darius and the Medes and the Persians. Then came the great horn of Alexander, the so-called Alexander the Great, and the Greeks. Okay. Now, what came after the Greeks? What world empire that scattered Israel and Judah came after the Greeks? Well, let's take a look. Luke. Let's go to the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2 and verse 1. Luke chapter 2 and verse 1. Okay? Ready? And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Now, how could an emperor declare that he's going to tax the whole world unless he is powerful over the whole world? Does that make sense? So now you have the fourth kingdom. It is Rome. Let's look at chapter 3 of Luke because it also gives us more information. Luke chapter 3 and verse 1. Actually, 1 and 2 shows us the whole corrupt picture. Luke chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Now, in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate, being governor of Judah, a Roman, governor of Judah, the four powers that scattered Israel and Judah, governor of Judah, a Roman. By the way, I think you already know, Rome comes from Japhet. We'll mention that again. Herod, being tetrarch of Galilee, Herod, where did he come from? Who was Herod? What family was he from? He wasn't from Judah. He wasn't from Israel. Well, what family was he from? He was a Shemite. He was a Shemite now. Who was Herod? Tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Iturea. That should give you a hint right there. And of the region of Trachonitis, and Licinius, the tetrarch of Abilene. And here's another one. Annas and Caiaphas being high priests. Wait a minute. Am I wrong? Or did the Father only appoint one high priest at a time in Israel? Isn't that true? He never had two high priests in Israel. He had one high priest in Israel. Isn't that true? So let's take a look at what we got now. We got Tiberius Caesar from Japhet. We got Pontius Pilate from Japhet. They're running Jerusalem. Then we got Herod the Edomite running Jerusalem. And then we got Philip the Tetrarch, another Edomite. And then we got Annas and Caiaphas, corrupt priests. Let me ask you, how do you suppose the earth is being run now? Do we have children of Japhet running the earth today? Do you think? Do we have Edomites working with them today? Do we have religious corruption today? Nothing changes, brethren. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. The only difference is the Father has chosen the scattered people, and we know we're coming to the finish line. That's the difference. The kingdom of these people is finished. It's finished. That's what the Revelation said. Babylon is finished. Is finished, isn't it? Babylon is fallen. Is fallen. That's what it says. That's what the word says. That's what we know. It's finished. And you have Edomites, children of Japhet, ruling over Israelites. And Israelites, when they want to get religious, are in a corrupt religious system. That's not according to the word of the Most High. Most High never said we're going to have two high priests at one time. At one. Well, why they got two? Because it's a corrupt, man-made religious system. It's man-made, right? It's not according to the word of the Father. It's man-made. He never said two. All right. Back to Daniel 2. So now we know, let's look at what we know now from what we've just studied. What do we know? We know Babylon is the king, the head of gold, Hamitic. We know that the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks and the Romans, all from the children of Japhet, follow in succession. Medes and the Persians, then the Greeks, then the Romans. Now, that means, right? You ready? Let's just put it all together for a second here. Ready? So Nebuchadnezzar was the gold. The Medes and the Persians were the silver. The Greeks were the brass, right? And the iron is Rome. Y'all got that part so far? Are we good so far? I want to make sure we're all clear so far, because what I'm about to tell you might blow some of y'all away, but I want to tell you the truth. So, okay. So, according to Nebuchadnezzar's statue, when the stone hit the statue, what was the material it hit? What was the material that was hit by the stone cut without hands? What metal? Did it hit the gold? Or did it hit directly the silver? What did it hit directly? What was the direct hit? It was the iron and the clay. And we already know Rome is the iron. Right? Rome is the iron. Correct? Okay? So, what does that tell you logically? That at the end of Babylon, Rome is in charge. At the end of Babylon, Rome is in charge. But Rome has a shaky kingdom because it got clay with it. Because we have, remember, 3 Abrahamic, so-called Abrahamic religions running things. Isn't that correct? Don't we have 3 so-called Abrahamic religions? There are people who just say, well, the clay represents Israel. You know, thou art our father and we are the clay. That's Israel. That's not fake Israel. Fake Israel is Judaism. Abrahamic. Discover. Fake. Well, who created Islam? Another Abrahamic religion. That's why you have clay. Iron is Rome. The offshoots, the babies, Islam, Judaism. And they form a very shaky alliance. It's very shaky. They don't even like each other. That's right. That's why it's the iron. That's right, Stephen Kelly. That's why it's the iron and the others are the clay. See? Y'all got me so far. Everything good? Everything cool so far? See how important this is, though? So it tells us right now who is running things right now. I don't care what people show you, what the news tells you, what everything, whatever. The Bible tells us what is happening right now. Where is the power that's running things based out of right now? It's based out of Rome. And the United States is the image to the beast. Remember? He said, let us make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. You know, my wife and I were looking at this documentary called The Family. You ever heard The Family? The Family is Christian religious leaders in the United States believing that all of these Caucasian children of Japhet that are presidents are called and chosen. And therefore, they can do whatever they want. And they call themselves the family. And they say they're followers of Jesus. And they use David as their example. They exist. Look it up. They're in Washington here. And they are an invisible organization called the family. That's the image to the beast. That's the image to the beast. That is, other words, what the Bible calls not only the image to the beast, it is also called the false prophet. That is the false prophet. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. Now remember, the dragon gives the beast its power, seat, and authority. The dragon is actually the lamb-like beast. It just looks like a lamb, but it's really a dragon in there. I saw 3 unclean spirits come out of the mouth of the beast and of the dragon and of the false prophet. The United States is the false prophet. The religious powers of the United States are the false prophet. That's why the Bible tells us when they say what? Peace and safety. It's a false prophecy. When they say it's going to be peace and safety, it's a false prophecy because they are false prophets. And that's why Laodicea, the call made by the 144,000 to Laodicea are for Yah's people to come out from them, come out from those false religious systems of the 3 Abrahamic religions. Your father is not an Abrahamic religion. Your father is the creator. And he chose a nation of people. Abraham never, in our religion, Abraham didn't create no religion. Abraham wasn't the author of anybody's religion. They call it Abrahamic religion. Because why? Because they got to give glory to man. That's what they do. Man has to be the God here. So Abraham created these religions. Abraham ain't create no religion. Messiah didn't create no religion called Christianity. Messiah never created no religion. Man made that institution. You never see nowhere in the Bible the Messiah said, I'm going to create a new religion. It's going to be called Christianity. You never see that in the Bible because he didn't do it. Neither was there any Islamic prophet from the children of Shem that were not Hebrew Israelites that created a religion that Hebrew Israelites are supposed to be following. You didn't see no prophets except they came from the Hebrew Israelite tribes. Even the first 5 books of the Bible are called the Book of Moses. Well, where was Moses from? The tribe of Levi. Every book in the Bible, all 66 divisions are from Hebrew Israelites. There is no Arab prophet in the Bible. You might have one in the Quran. Okay, you want to follow the Quran? Go ahead. But don't try to tell me it's like the Bible because ain't no Arab prophets in the Bible. Ain't no children of Japhet prophets in the Bible. There's no Hamitic prophets in the Bible. There's only Hebrew Israelite prophets in the Bible. That's it. So if you're going to believe the Bible, you can't believe the Quran if they tell you there's an Arab prophet. And if you believe the Quran, you can't believe the Bible if you believe you have an Arab prophet. Ain't no Arab prophets in the Bible. See, they try to tell you, well, even Malcolm X, well, all of these men, the Jews, they follow Jehovah, and the Christians follow Jesus, and we follow Allah, and all these great men were prophets. All of them were bull crap. Bull crap. Read your Bible. There is no Arab prophet there. There is no children of Japhet prophet there. There's only prophets from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's children. That's it. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Hebrew Israelite prophets. That's it. And that's why I say, like Elijah said, choose you this day who you going to serve. Don't try to act like we're all the same. We're not. That's like trying to say men and women are the same. We built different. We're not the same. I don't care what brother decides he's a woman today. You still going to have male DNA and male blood in your system. You can cut your stuff off. You're still a man, according to your blood. Can't change it. You're still going to have the men testosterone in your body. It's just there. That's who you are. And no matter what woman wants to be a man today, she still has the female blood in her. No matter what. She can have something sewn on her. She's still a woman. No matter what she wants to call herself. She can call herself Sam, Dick, Tom, Frank. You're still the blood of Samantha. You're still the DNA of a woman. If you died, and they were looking, who died here? It was a woman. Can't change it. Neither can an Arab prophet say they're from Hebrew Israelites. They're not. Neither can the children of Japhet decide, okay, I am Shemite. No, you're children of Japhet. You can come to the God of Shem. Yes, you can. But don't ever claim you're the bloodline, because you're not. That's why there is called Abraham's seed. You could come. All people could come. Ham could come. Japhet could come. Come on. Ride. Let's go. But you have to know, the seed is Hebrew Israelite. The Savior is Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. It's not an Arab. Never will be. So, here in Daniel chapter 2, we have a dream. We see a dream. We have an interpretation of the dream. There is the gold, that is the Hamite Babylon kingdom. Then you have the silver, that is the Median Persian children of Japhet kingdom. Then you have the Greeks, that is the Greek brass kingdom. Then you have the iron that lasts all the way till now. It is the iron of the children of Japhet's Roman Empire that now is the Holy Roman Empire. It's religious. Okay? And that's what we're going to see. It's different from all the other ones. It's religious. This is the only one, the one that we're now in, that's based in religion. The others were not based in religion. Nebuchadnezzar was trying to find out the future. He was confused. He didn't know. And the Medes and the Persians and the Greeks, they were just militaristic, aggressive children of Japhet, taking over. Then you had the Romans, who was aggressive, militaristic children of Japhet. But then the Roman Empire was changed. It was changed from a militaristic empire to a religious empire. It became the Holy Roman Empire. And that's what we have today. It's through spirit and craft. It's through spirit and craft that things are being controlled. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's the beast. You understand? All of this from Daniel chapter 2. You see what I say? And as we continue to study Daniel, and as we study other prophecies, and as we go into Revelation, this is a basis for us to understand where we are. Okay? That's it. Daniel chapter 2. Let's continue. Let's finish this chapter. Daniel chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 44. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all of these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Now we all know Messiah said, you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, coming in the clouds of heaven. Isn't that what he said? He said, you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, coming in the clouds of heaven. And then Revelation 19, and I saw a white horse, and he that sat upon him. And then he said, and I saw the beast and his armies get ready to fight against him that sat on the horse and against his army, and prevailed not. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him. And these both were cast alive into a lake of fire and brimstone. Yes, because he's going to have a kingdom which shall stand forever. It shall never be destroyed. And Daniel's going to repeat that. He's going to say not only that, he's going to say forever, even forever and ever. He's going to let you know. Ain't no end to the Israelite kingdom that's coming. And it's coming. There's no end to it. It is in perpetuity. It is forever. It is without end. It will not be left to other people. There's going to be no succession. That's it. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44 and 45. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. And it shall come, and it shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great Most High have shown to the king which shall come to pass hereafter. And watch this, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Like, this is definitely happening. Like, there's no doubt this is coming. And brethren, here you and I are at this time in Earth's history where these things are going to be realized. We're here. There are people that are hearing me right now that are going to be alive when that happens. Some of us are going to be put to sleep, but there's people right now that are listening to this today, and you're going to be here when this happens. You're going to be here when the kingdom is established. You're going to see all the things that we're reading about. You're going to see. Read your Bibles. Pray to your Father. Let him guide you. Let him get you through the finish line. Let him get you through the finish line. Okay? Let him get you through. Because he will. You're his workmanship, created for his glory in Messiah. Okay? It's time. It really is. It's time. We're seeing it. Verse 46. Now, of course, Nebuchadnezzar's reaction to this is to glorify man. That's what they do in heathen land. That's what heathens do. Daniel chapter 2, verse 46. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshiped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an oblation unto him and sweet odors unto him. He started lighting incense to Daniel, and he bowed to Daniel, because don't be surprised at that. That is the first instinct of any heathen. That's the first instinct. That is why Father is calling his true people away from the worship of heathenism, because heathen always brings man as the God. Man is the God in the heathen lands. Always. Man's governments, man's religions, man's ingenuity, man's creations, everything from man is the God, except to the Hebrew Israelites. The true bloodline knows There's a God in heaven. That's what he's telling them. There's a God in heaven, and he knows everything. So Nebuchadnezzar's first instinct would be the instinct of any heathen. Worship this brother. This brother is a God. Daniel chapter 2, verse 47. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. He was bugging. He just couldn't believe. You told me what I dreamt. You told me what I was thinking about before I fell asleep. You told me what it means. Wow. Wow. Verse 48. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and the chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Brought his brothers with him. He said, Nebuchadnezzar, I need my homies with me. Okay. Whatever you want, Daniel. Boom. Brethren, read your Bible. Pray to your Father. Let him guide you through the word. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to take time? A lot. A lot of time. Is it worth your time? Yes, it's worth your time. It's really less than an hour a day that you have to read. It's less than an hour a day. I read a little bit in the morning and sometimes a little bit at night, or both, or some one or the other. But every day I read a little bit. Even sometimes when I get ahead, I miss a day. But you just always keep going at it. And as the time goes by, you'll move along. Okay? Keep reading. Keep going. Okay? See that? So much here. And like I said, this is just the foundation. We're going to come back and we're going to keep referencing chapter 2. You're going to see that, especially as we go into future chapters, we're going to come back and reference chapter 2. And that's where it all starts. See? And you'll see. See? And why? Because Nebuchadnezzar was the head of gold. He was different. That's why he was the highest one. He had the most pliable heart. That's why during the course of his experience with Daniel, he ends up getting converted to the God of Israel. Okay, he does. And that's why he's the head of gold. He's different. There were a couple of kings of the heathens that was different. Nebuchadnezzar was one. Cyrus was another. Cyrus, not Cyrus the Mede or Darius the Mede, Cyrus the Persian. Different. He's the one that told them, go back and build your temple. It's time. Right? And Isaiah prophesied about Cyrus. See? So a couple of the heathens were different than the rest. Nebuchadnezzar was one, and he was the only one that wasn't Japhet. He was Ham. Now, Cyrus was Japhet, and he got converted too. And then there was Ahasuerus, Esther's husband. Some of them are different. There's some here and there that the Bible points out. And you're going to see even again to this day, there's some of Japhet that's coming to the truth. We know that. It's going to be the poorer ones, though, not kings. Not kings. It's going to be poorer ones. Ones that ain't got nothing. Ones that know what it's like to suffer. Ones that understand that their cousins are screwing them. The ones that understand that and take away that so-called race pride, because they know race in the Bible. When you start to understand that, you'll start to awaken. Praise the Most High. The grafted in, that's right. Okay, they will understand, and they're also a remnant. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. It's beautiful what he shows us and gets us ready for. Here we are, brethren. We are on the stage of the final years of Babylon's existence. We are on the stage of the final movements of this play. We are reading scripts that were written thousands of years ago, brethren. Here we are. Here we are. It's stupendous, man. It really is. Stupendous. Wait till we get to chapter 3, though. That's what I'm going to tell you. Wait till we get to chapter 3. That's the next time. Until then, may the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Most High lift up his countenance upon you and your family and give you peace. Sure.